Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So my name's Millen and today we're just going to be discussing how I make notes while studying computer science at Royal Holloway. So first thing is there's two types of notes I make. I make coding notes, which are done on my MacBook, and I use a software. I'll have a whole different video explaining how that works. For today, what we'll be looking at is a app called Notability. I don't know if you can see it in there. I will be screen recording this iPad, so I use my iPad with Apple Pencil to make any notes that are unrelated to coding. So stuff that's covered in there is like mathematical structures I studied last year, machine fundamentals. This year I'm doing algorithms and complexity. So modules where maths may be required or I need to jot stuff down. Software design is another example where I'm not necessarily writing code but more learning the concepts behind the code, so I'll use my iPad to make notes on that. So as you can see here on this screen recording of my iPad here, we have on the left hand side all my notes are organized in term 1 and 2, so these are last year's notes, don't have this year's notes on here. So you can see mathematical structures is one, object oriented programming, software design, internet services, machine fundamentals, and then OOP2. So here's the thing, in term 2 I didn't really make notes. It's just the way I study. I don't really make notes most of the time, I just memorize things. But in term 1 I did use mathematical structures quite a bit. So looking into how this works, I won't show the assignments, but let's have a look at lectures. You can see here what I do essentially is just treat it like a normal piece of paper. I write on here as you would, select the pen tool. You can see the reason I do this is what I normally do is I go to the paper tool here. I can normally use this paper on here when I'm making math related studies, and then if I want to at the end of the whole learning process, I normally just send it to my Dropbox like this. It goes into my folder Millen as a PDF, and then I can just view the PDFs like this wherever I am. So that's why I use Notability, and as you can see here, there's quite a lot of features you can use. I can change the color of the pens, just write on here like that. I can highlight things if I want to make sure I remember that. I normally highlight depending on things, rub things out. I can obviously bring in screenshots as well, which I've probably done in a few other lectures. You can see here I've just gone through as I would writing essentially normal notes, the difference being obviously I'm doing it on an iPad. And you can see here how I was talking about highlighting in different colors. You got the union for sets, cardinality, complements, intersection, and they're all in different colors. And as I said before, I normally export them all into my Dropbox, and then from the Dropbox I stitch everything together into one big PDF, and I just go through that and read through there. Another good thing on here is when I'm doing exercise sheets like this, I can just download the exercise sheet and just draw right on top of it, answer the questions on the bottom like this, because that's the beneficial thing. You can add extra pages on here. So what I normally do is just continue to write on here, answering questions. You can see here this section here in the middle of the page where it says A, B, and C is brought from up here. I just cut that section out and pasted it below where I was answering my question and answered how to do it. So another topic is OOP1. So the way this is taught at Royal Holloway is they give you a PDF, which is a book. And what I did originally was just go through the book and highlighted all the key elements that I'm looking for and I'm looking to learn from. So you can see here I was just annotating as I went through what does this actually mean, so I can just go through it really quickly next time round. Software design is another module that I learned in first year. You can see here some of my notes, because a lot of it was graphs and stuff like that, explaining concepts of computer science. When I used this, iPad with Notability to do the app notes, you can see how I was drawing diagrams to show how analysis problem process works, synthesis, etc., etc. And I just kept going. I used to open up my slides on the right, and I could screenshot the slides and bring them in here as if I needed to for extra bits of information when I needed it. And you can see here, like when I was just learning about the software lifecycle, just write it out. Waterfall model, exactly the same. So it's a really powerful tool, and this is essentially how I made all my notes for first year. For the modules I needed them. You can see when I was doing prototyping model, instead of writing out everything like people do on a piece of paper where you're just copying the whiteboard or whatever your lecturer is using, I just copied the slides straight into this documents here, and they're embedded, and I know the information in them is correct because they're straight from the slides. So when I was taking notes like that, it's probably the best way. You can see same thing in term 2. Machine fundamentals is another maths related module essentially, and you can see I just use this to write up the different things on here. But that's all there really is in this video. I was just showing off how I use this iPad. I normally carry it with me everywhere in my bag alongside the MacBook, and that's all there is really. So thank you guys for watching this video. It's a really quick one. I'll have more content coming in this week. I know a few people have asked me in the comment sections about how do I what's the breakdown of, you know, the assignments and everything at Royal Holloway, how are the exams and stuff like that. So I'll have videos covering that stuff later in the week. It's just a bit hectic over the weekend, so I haven't been able to film anything like I normally do in advance, so I'm filming this today as I release it today. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you need any questions or any help with anything or going to university, let me know. And my name's Milan.